Hi, everybody. Crazy Lady's back again. Anyway, I hope you're all doing good out there tonight or morning or whatever. It's almost 11 o'clock. I was going to do this earlier when I was perky. That's a laugh. I wasn't perky anytime today. But it sounds good. So I hope you're all doing fine out there, and hope you've had an interesting day and gotten out of the house and, you know, went and done something fun. I went for a walk. In fact, I just got back from it about 30 minutes ago. It's almost 11 o'clock, but I just kind of have to go when it strikes me for some reason. I want to wish everybody a happy Mother's Day. Got some beautiful flowers from my daughter behind me, and that's why I turned the table the other way. I had to show my flowers off, just like any mother. Any proud mother, they always got to show them off. It's really weird out there. You know, before the election and even after the election, when they kept pushing that Trump really won and everything, I wasn't surprised at January 6th. I was kind of waiting for that. But I really felt like we were blessed that they didn't get to do what they really wanted to do, go in there to do, which is just totally, they were hoping that some of those crowds would take some of those people out and that they'd have to declare martial law. And that way Trump would say, well, you know, the election, anyway. I'm sure that's what they were working on. Well, that didn't work for them, but they kept pushing it. So they might even have had a backup plan already. And they're still pushing it. And they're changing all these rules. Unless they get rid of the filibuster and put that voting rights act through, and do it right away, so it's a done deal before the midterms, we could be in some big trouble. And I'm not trying to scare anybody or make anybody nervous. This is just anybody that's not right in the beltway that's watching what's going on can see that there's a plan to this. This isn't just dumb allegiance to Donald Trump. There's a plan for this. I don't know what in the world could be the plan if it goes through and they get Trump back in office. And I mean, well, yeah, I mean, it'd be straight fascism. We all need to go to another country, especially if we're not Snow White. Anyway, that'd be the first ones they go after, and then they'll go after the old people and the poor people. You know, but whatever, they'll thin us out quick. But what I want to see is, I got a theory. You know, Biden's starting to go to a few other states and push his infrastructure bill. I thought that he probably didn't have a clue how deep this was or what was really going on, but I think he's getting a clue and getting it really quick. So I'm thinking the reason he's going around to these other states and pushing this bill is he is maybe going to go into West Virginia and Arizona and some of those states and start telling them what they want to do. And what'll happen if these bills get passed, and what'll happen if they don't get passed. And if he starts going into Sinema's area and he starts going into Manchin's area, then maybe it'd be like President Joe Biden instead of President Manchin. Maybe he'll take the mantle back over and start running this thing and get this stuff pushed through so we can save our democracy. So anyway, I hate to sound like gloom and doom, but another reason let's change the subject now that another reason they were fighting so hard and pushing back and not giving them any information ahead of time was just to stall all this as long as they could stall it. And, like even Merrick Garland, look how long it took to even confirm him and all that kind of stuff, because they knew once he went in there that it was going to be depleted, but it was also going to be a mess. And they thought maybe they could have it a big enough mess and have enough stuff hid. So it did delay it. And I was really worried about Garland because I thought he might have been too old, but he looks like he's sharper than a tack. Let's pray to God that he stays sharper than a tack and nobody hurts him in any way, and that he gets some stuff really going in there, because it looks like he's going after Barr. And if he goes after Barr, Pompeo is going to be right in the middle of that. Before that's through. And if he keeps going around to all these states and then it won't look like he's just targeting. I don't know why he should care. He shouldn't care if it looks like he's targeting West Virginia and Arizona. But he needs to just keep going to them and going in and letting these people know what's being cut off from them from their representatives. And if he can get the people in those states behind him, where the people, and another thing they need to do is just say over and over again every day that this isn't nonpartisan, because because everybody wants these things passed. Just because a few people in Congress don't want it passed doesn't mean that the rest of the United States doesn't make it pass. Anyway, I'm going to be quiet and I'm going to read. I'm sure who I'm going to read on. I was going to read on. You know who I want to read on? I'm going to read on Mike Pence. And I know you might think, why? Because I think he knows what the big plan is. And I think he's not sure if he wants to be involved or not. I think I can feel his mind just going crazy thinking, should I get in there? Should I, even though I'm out of office, should I still be hanging close to Trump and doing a few media deals or this or that, or should I run? I feel like he knows that the plan is to take over our government, just to totally take it over. And once that happens, we won't really ever have democracy again. It'll be like Russia or something. And that's what they're setting up these states for, so they can determine who wins these states without it really being, no matter what the count is. No matter, even if they don't get enough votes to press where where they don't get the votes they want, they'll change it. But anyway, they're trying to make people lose all faith in the voting. There's even some new people running for Congress. I heard them talking today in some of those states back east. The one. One of the ones they contested so much last time. I can't think of, Pennsylvania or something. And there's some new woman running, and she said, "Don't even." She's already saying, "Well, when the midterms are over, don't trust what the news media says. Come and ask me who won." So this is what it's turning into, and I know it sounds crazy and it sounds really stupid, and if nobody's really been paying attention to everything that's going on, really sounds far-fetched, but there's more to this than them just trying to keep their seats. There's a bigger picture of this, and they know they can't just keep going on like they are unless they end up taking over the government. So anyway, Mike Pence. Sorry about that. Mike Pence. Mike Pence. He's trying to figure out whether to stick close to Trump or run like hell from Trump. This is what I was told today. He doesn't know whether to get closer or get further away. Closer or further away. Because I think he knows the big plan. And he doesn't know if he wants to be a traitor. He just doesn't know how deep he wants to get into this. Meanwhile, his brother, who's in Congress, is getting in deeper every day. So, I think he's just not sure where he wants to be. In case it fails, he don't want to go down as a traitor. Not stupid. And he's already connected and in there from the last term, so I feel like he just doesn't know where to go right now, that he feels like he's between a rock and a hard spot. So Mike Pence, what are you doing? Little flyhead. Mike Pence, what's going on in your head? What's going on inside you? Mike Pence. Mike Pence. Well, kind of looks like he was not sleeping good, a nervous wreck, sick inside. Just a sick feeling inside, because he knows things aren't right, and he knows if these little pushy ass bastards get their way, that they're going to take over the government. And he knows that. On some level, he knows that. Anyway, I think that's why he's not sleeping at night, and why he's laying there wondering what to do and feeling frozen and not knowing which way to go. He knows logically that he shouldn't follow Trump, the broken king. I mean, he lost the presidency, he lost the House, he lost the Senate. Anybody in their right mind knows they shouldn't follow him. I think Liz Cheney might be the smartest person in there, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Romney climb on that train. Not because he's such a good guy, but because he can only see it going two different ways too, and I don't think he wants any part of the second way. But anyway, this is the influence and the obstacle. He doesn't know whether to get away from him and get totally out of the shadow or get closer to Trump. The foundation is deceit and lies. And he's not against deceit and lies. He's done it most of his life. But this is just a little bit more deceitful and a little bit more lying and a little bit more close to treason than he wants to get. And this is Mike Pence. So that's the foundation, third house. He's got a lot of remorse. because he can really see with Trump's influence when he first went in there, had he had a good heart or just been a good person and stuff, that they could have maybe done some good and had the people liking him for the right reason. But they decided to bring in hate and prejudice and racism. So he's got regrets there. He's got regrets about the past because he can look back now and see how they could have been in a good position and probably got everything they wanted without all this hate. But he doesn't think they can pull this off, and so he doesn't know what to do. He knows if he sticks too close, it could be his death of his career. Maybe not his physical death, but a total change. Put him out of politics and out of the light and into a bad deal for the rest of his life. And for the near future, we got new beginnings. On some level, he's wishing he had all the strength in the world to come out and say, no, Trump did not win the election, Biden won the election. I think he said it once, and when they had that, when they did the vote, he certified it, and one other time when they asked him since then. But he knows that if he ends up following them, he's going to have to go in there with guns blazing, saying what all the rest of them are saying. So, I mean, a country's in trouble when the whole Republican Party is pushing this big a lie. And anybody that doesn't know we're in trouble is not paying any attention to politics. And Mike Pence is thinking that he ought to just stay back totally out of the way and not even run if Trump starts to run again, even if he were to ask him, which I'd be very doubtful if he did, to run for the vice president. He's thinking he should just stay away from it. He's trying to think what his options could possibly be, and they're not looking good for him. He's got the death card above him, and he's got Trump on top of him. Regrets about the past, and the fool going forward, and that he knows if he stays with him close, he'll be a fool and backs him, and he knows if he does back him, he could also, if he doesn't back him, he could be in trouble. On some level, as much as a hypocrite as this little mother bear is, and being nice, not what I wanted to call him, as much as a hypocrite as he is, inside of him somewhere, he's still worried about judgment. And I don't think for a second that he's really religious, or he's really worried about burning in hell, but he's worried about judgment. So that's what he's worried about. This judgment's right next to Trump. If he sticks with Trump, what in the hell's gonna, it's all right to go down in history as being a bad vice president and having your nose up the president's ass, but it's different to go down as being a traitor to the end. And he's worried about the people in government not letting them get away with this. I don't know how they'll keep them from getting away with it if they want to pull a bunch of crap off the way they're going. They're tearing up our democracy more every day with all their stupid bullshit. But that's what he's worried about. He's worried about being on the wrong side of the law, of justice, and what's going on. He's really afraid justice is going to come through. He is really afraid of justice. He's looking at this actually smarter than most of these other people in the Republican Party. And I've been reading cards off and on every day today for two different people, and every time I pull the cards, this has come up as a 10. We got the 2 of coins, which means that this is up in the air. Damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. He just cannot make up his mind. But I don't know if you guys even think enough like me to follow me on this, but this is what's going on with Mike Pence. I'm going to shove these up here again. He's laying awake nights worrying, sick at his stomach. One minute he wants to run towards Trump and just jump right in the middle of all this fake shit. And another minute he wants to get as far away from it as he can because he don't want to end up being a traitor in the end. And he's afraid that it might even come to that before it's over. He really doesn't like Trump. Trump almost makes him sick at his stomach. But he still can't figure out whether to separate away from him. He knows that there's some really shady, illegal stuff coming up when it comes to stealing seats in the midterms and election. You know, he knows there's some really shady stuff coming up. A lot of times he regrets that him and Trump didn't do a lot of right things. So they could have, you know, when they first started, they did have the chance to change things over. They could have went in there and really did something good if Trump would have been interested in anything but his dick. So he's just afraid of it's the death of him, one way or the other. Death of his career, death of his, I wanted to say nobility, but he thinks he's noble. He thinks of himself as a noble. He knows it's the death of him if he follows this man. And yet, he just cannot make up his mind. Here's the Fool. And then, here's the Judgment card. He's afraid he'll be judged, and he don't want to be judged as a traitor, because here is the higher forces of the courts coming in. Here's justice coming in. And every morning when he gets back, he's back on that, should I do this way or should I go that way? He doesn't know which way to turn when it comes to how he's going to push this politics. He really wishes he could just get out of there. And that may sound, I don't know, I hope I don't. Anyway, that's my reading on Pence. Now I'm going to do one on Barr. Bill Barr, are you going to jail? I don't think Bill Barr will spend a day in jail. I think he might cut a deal. The minute he knows he's caught, he's going to cut a deal. Even if he has to squeal about things he knows that he wasn't going to tell anybody. Of course, he's not going to tell any more than he has to. I mean, he's not going to tell on himself or get... But he's going to try to cut a deal the minute that he knows he's caught. That's my feeling. But let's see. Bill Barr, what's going on with you? What's going on with you? What's going on with you? He's wishing the hell he'd have walked away faster. Trying to figure out how to get out of this already. He just felt like he had to know if he was getting money for doing what he was doing or what. But here's the influence over this is the wealthy king. So he was totally being influenced by Trump, but only because he wanted to be. He was definitely the smartest man in the room if him and Trump were in the room together. He thought he could do anything he wanted to with the law. That's the foundation, is he thought he had the power and he thought that he could... thought Trump would maybe win that election. Then when he saw that he was leaving, he didn't know what to do. That's why he left early. past influences, even back when he was with the Bushes, is the first thing he always did when he went in the office is got put in as Attorney General is find all the dirt he could find. So that's his MO, is to go look for the dirt the minute he gets in, so he's got control. He wants to know, he always wanted to know all the secrets. Now he's kind of wishing he hadn't known any secrets. Because now they're coming out about him. The whole world's going to know what a fucking jerk he was. He still thinks that he might be smart enough to worm his way out of this. Look at this. He thinks he's got enough information on enough people. I don't know what he found out while he was the Attorney General, that he's still got control of this situation, that he's got something to worry about, but not as much as he would if he didn't have a lot of information on a lot of people. Blackmail. He's going to offer up some information to keep out of jail himself. He's going to offer up some information, only exactly what he has to, and he'll decorate it and make it look like it's good, but it won't really be what he knows. And he's really afraid that he's dead in the water. This is his hopes and fears. He's afraid that it's not going to help him that much, and he's still going to be dead in the water. But he's too old to ever worry about politics again anyway, so at least he doesn't have to worry about that. If he can keep from going down, he will rat out everybody else that he can without getting himself into revealing some things maybe they don't know. But he will definitely rat out anybody else to keep from it taking him out. So this is what's going on with Bill Barr. He wishes he'd got the hell out of there sooner. Probably wishes he'd never got in there. Definitely influenced. Given too much power, too much connections, and he knew better. He knew better. He knew the law. But he figured if he could look deep enough and get enough dirt on people that he could protect himself. But he's not, because the whole world's going to know about this. He thinks he can get out of this because he does have enough dirt on people just to offer up a little bit. And that'll keep them from putting him in jail, which would change his whole life. And he thinks that's his ace in the hole. It's because he's got a lot of information on a lot of people. So he knows he's in trouble, and he figures that he may even get indicted or something. I don't know. I didn't see a jail card in here, because he thinks he can blackmail enough people and has got enough information to keep himself out of jail. That's what's going on in his head right now. I didn't ask what was really going to happen to him. I asked what he thought was going on. So that's what I come up with on him. That's what the cards come up with. Never know what's going to come out of these cards anymore, I'll tell you. The more I use them, the more I'm really getting to think that they're pretty darn good. Or my helpers are pretty darn good that are coming in to help me. Sometimes they don't even make any sense to me, and then a month later, bam, bam, bam. The last time I read on Bill Barr, it said he was going to jail. I didn't see any jail cards in there. I want to read on Pompeo. That's the asshole I want to see in jail. And I think that's what I'll ask about him. On Pompeo, that's what... Spit on my hair here, it's sticking straight out. On Pompeo, that's what I'll ask. I'm going to ask, is Mike Pompeo going to jail before this is over? I think he's going to be in the news within the next 10 days, or maybe before that. But in the next week, he's going to be in the news. All this stuff's going to start popping out so quick that Mike Pompeo, are you going to jail, or what's going on with you? We won't ask if you're going to jail. What's going on with you? What's going to happen to you? Let's do it this way. What's going to happen to you? Where are you going to be at in all this? You think you're skated out free, but you're not. If they get Barr, you're going to be right in the middle of it. You're going to be connected in there with Barr some way. I can feel it. You gave out secrets overseas, and they got proof of it. Thank you. When it happened, you didn't think you'd ever get caught. You just took the money and put it away. Buddied up to the Saudis and probably a few other enemies of ours. And it's going to come back to bite you. It's going to come back to bite you. It's a past influence on the present right here. You maybe think you can talk or work your way out of this. That's a joke. Because you still feel like you got connection. Here's the Lover's card here at the bottom in the foundation. You still think, on some level, that Trump's going to get back in control and save your ass. You're in league with the devil, and you're always going to be in league with the devil. This is your near future. You're still right in there. I don't know if it's stuff to blackmail other people with, because I still think you got a connection with Barr in there some way. Or what? But you feel like you have power or information over some feminine judge or person that could really come after you, but you feel like you have power over her. I don't know why you think you have the power over her. Unless you're a cross-dresser in disguise, no. Because she's she's in your house. She's in the 7th house. Maybe it's your wife. I don't know. I doubt it very much. Most of these people aren't that close, I don't think, to their spouses or kids or anything. Got the devil right above it. Let's see what's around it. Woo. A lot of charges coming towards you. I don't know what you did, you little booger bear, but you did a bunch of bad stuff. A bunch of bad stuff. A bunch of bad stuff. You're in big trouble. You're afraid you're going to lose the disrespect of your family and everybody you know. And your wife. Yes, this is a yes card. So, this is Mike Pompeo. It looks like he gave secrets away to our enemies, to foreign armies, buddied up to them, gave him weapons for war where he shouldn't have, worked really hard to cover it up. But he's in league with the devil, and he still is. There's some female judge, attorney, or something that's coming after him with guns ablazing. And it won't be just one count. It's going to be, we got the 8 here. It's going to be all kinds of accounts. I think it's even going to be treason. This is my feeling. It's even going to be treason before it's over. And yes, he is going to lose the respect of his family. And yes, somebody's got the goods on him. So he's in trouble, but I didn't see him in jail. Oh, I should have left those down and drew another card on it. Don't see him going to jail. Maybe. For some plans he helped make. These are probably the plans he gave the king in Saudi Arabia before he left there. And everybody got put in jail over there 3 days later after he told them, gave him all the information that our intelligence community had. Anyway, I don't know. It doesn't look like there's anything really coming down on him right away. Maybe we'll wait and read on him again next month. But I think we're going to hear something before next month about him. I think he's in trouble. I'm going to do one more real quick here. Maybe not. That seems like it's been forever. Anyway, if anybody wants a personal reading, it's lynntarotreading@gmail.com. Email me, and please put your phone number in. It makes it so much easier. And it's lynntarotreadings@gmail.com. And thank everybody for watching. Thank you for pushing the like button. Thank you for being there for me. And sounds like I was trying to start a fight with all those people I was reading about. I should read about everybody's been wanting me to read about Ivanka and Jared. So I think maybe tomorrow I'll come back and read on Ivanka and Jared. Or maybe just turn this off and then turn it back on and come back and read tonight on it while I got the camera and everything set up. Anyway, night everybody. Bye-bye now.